So guys, the first proven lead generation method we're going to talk about is social media organic. I think it's the most powerful one, and it's also the one that you can get started with today. So we're going to break down our frameworks and everything that we think about to just simply dominate. Now, the way that I think about social media organic as a marketer is basically I only make content that is built to either build a brand or generate sales. So in terms of becoming an influencer and doing long form YouTube stuff, you're going to have to reach out to me personally if you want that information. But when it comes to selling your agency or selling your SaaS or selling any type of software, that's what this type of breakdown's for. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, is that there's 3 core purposes of creating content for any type of business. And the first one is just raw sales. And when people think of sales, they think of it as a one-to-one transaction. But when you're posting on the internet, your copywriting for that specific type of video needs to be completely tailored for sales. And the way that you can track this is seeing how is by checking how many views you get per sale generated based on this type of content created. Now, the next part of growth is really important for like your trajectory of your actual business. How fast you can scale happens here. Now, learning sales can happen at any stage. You can have 0 followers and your first follower can turn into a sale, but growth is what will really help you generate a massive, amount of wealth for yourself in this industry. So this is the most important for actually scaling. It's figuring out what type of content that you can add into your wheelhouse that is specifically optimized for followers, shares, and engagement. And I can go on and on for days about this, but we just want you guys to understand that right now you need to understand there's 3 core purposes of creating any piece of content when you're building a business online. Third piece, guys, is the most boring, but it's the most impactful, and that's building brand, right? So this is content that is optimized for building brand awareness and giving value with the people that are already following. And I can hop into my YouTube channel and I can explain each one of these in a slightly better fashion. With our long form videos, I'm either doing one of these 3 things that I spoke about. I'm either producing content to generate sales, grow, or build a brand. And right now I'm really just focused on the growth and the brand aspect of things because I'm building out this community, right? So the community is still in a development phase at the time that you're seeing this. So I'm really focused on these 2 elements. And so when we go back to our page, we can see that like our most recent video has done 7,000 views in 2 days with a channel that only has 1.8K subscribers. But the one right before that only did 547 views. And that's because inherently these 2 videos are completely different in their target market and what they wanted to achieve. This video is to achieve new viewers to actually learn about AI no code, whereas this one is a tutorial of people that are already a part of my community. And so naturally, this video is going to be very boring for people that have never seen or heard about me before, but this video will be very entertaining for people that have heard about me before. So they both have their own purpose before I even upload the video. So now that you guys understand the 3 core purposes of creating content, we can move on. Because there's another 3 elements that I want to talk about, and that is the viewer psychology. And there's 3 main hacks that I like to think about when I'm creating content for any one of these previous purposes. And that is ethos, logos, and pathos. Okay? And so we're going to break each one of these down, and they all play a massive role in persuading your viewers to actually turn into customers, or persuading your viewers to turn into subscribers or supporters, or any of these things that we need to actually build our business. So ethos is really just building credibility and trust is the best way to think about it. And it's either using your expertise, credentials, or reputation to build trust with that viewer or client or prospect. And an example could be showing your past experience, but what I personally like to do in the AI niche is showing what I'm doing in real time. And that's because AI is moving so fast that if I teach you guys something that was relevant, 3 months ago, then it's tough for me to actually say I'm being credible because I'm not actually teaching you the cutting edge tools. Versus stuff like bolt.new that's brand freaking new is the main thing that we're delivering as tutorials for our community right now, because it's the most impactful thing for you guys to learn. And so the same thing can apply for whatever you're trying to sell. Another way to build credibility is just showing your end-to-end processes without putting them behind any paywalls. And so a lot of my stuff is already out there for free on YouTube. And so my ability to even explain the concepts for free builds credibility and it builds trust. Another great way of doing this is having testimonials, and that's why my annual members in my community, they get number one like treatment right now, because I need to start pumping out testimonials. I can't just talk about the things that I'm doing, the things that I've already done, because that can only last for so long. If I start creating, really solid MVP type testimonials, which I know I will, then all of a sudden, it's a no-brainer to join the community. So moving on, the next one is just pure logic. Right? And the best example I like to use this for is when I previously had a e-commerce brand called Vault Fit, and we sold fitness clothing. And the way that we were able to infiltrate our market with just this logic and data is that we had the exact same product that a competitor was already selling. And so the way that we hacked the logic of our consumers was we were basically telling them that, hey, look, our products are the exact same, but the one that I'm selling you is 50% cheaper, so you should definitely use mine. And it ended up, even that alone ended up crushing. And there's so many other ways that you can explain things with logic. And so even me explaining how I'm credible is like a way of tapping into this logic here, right? So I'm releasing things in real time to my community that I learn about. And this logically makes sense, because that means that every single time there's an update, I know that Kevin will give me the newest update and how I can incorporate it into my business. Therefore, I can get ahead. So that's one example, right? Another one, like in this example here, is that it can, like, certain automations can reduce processing times or save clients money that they're spending on other software costs, because they didn't even know that they can use automations or AI tools to save them costs on software. And these are all just small examples, right? But logos very slept on because it's not as sexy as building emotions or connections, but it's really, really like once someone thinks about buying, logic really plays a massive role. Pathos, guys, is what I like to say as like the main, out of these three, it's the main way to actually like get your foot in the door. And that's by sparking emotion and creating connection. And so you need to actually enter into someone's feelings and desires, and you need to actually like extract the pain point in their lives. And so an example of this would be like an AI agency that helps content creators actually fulfill the amount of content that they need to produce to meet their goals. And so if a content creator can't make enough content and you come in as that pain point, to actually help them, then you can imagine like how grateful and how much money they're willing to pay you for you to actually like help grow their channels without them having to do anything. And so that's just an example of a pain point that you can use with our automations for certain clients. One that we use at Fitness Automations is we install software that they never used to think could possibly be a part of their offer. And so that's a pain point, because now they can start competing with, the bigger dogs in their field. And so this is where we have to master storytelling, okay, and aspirational imagery, and addressing things with confidence and being a KOL or a knowledge leader. These are all really important aspects to the pathos of really emotionally connecting to your viewer and explaining how you can connect with them, explaining why it makes sense to work with you. And these three all together is where you literally start building an online sales machine. Because if you can build credibility and trust while showing them logic and data and hitting them emotionally, then you should really start to see your sales start picking up. So in the next module, guys, you're now going to be ran through our entire short form marketing method matrix, where we basically show you all the different types of short form marketing that we have learned through e-commerce, through SaaS, through AI agencies, and we're going to show you everything that works in the short form world. And so I'll see you over there.